Welcome back to my channel, artists. Today we will be making a clay art pizza sculpture. Step number 1, cut a template. So you're going to want to make sure you take the template that your teacher has given you and cut one slice out. You're gathering your materials. Make sure you have a clay piece that looks a little bit like a knife, and then you want something with a rounded edge so that you can smooth, and maybe even something with a point. Step number 2, roll a clay slab. So you're going to take your clay and you're going to roll it with a rolling pin. When you roll it, make sure that you pick it up in between each step so that it does not stick to the table. It might stick a tiny bit, but if you pick it up in between each roll, then you're safe to make sure that it's as flat as it needs to be. For this step, I was having trouble getting it all the way even, so I took 2 pencils and put them underneath the rolling pin on either side of the clay. What that does is it makes sure that your clay doesn't get too thin where it's going to rip, but it's also the exact same thickness as it goes throughout. Step number 3. Trace and cut your shape. So you're going to take that pizza shape template and put it on top of your clay. It might stick and get dirty a little bit, and it's not a problem. We're going to throw it away when we're done. I have a pointed tool. I call them clay pencils. They're not pencils, but they have that point on it like a pencil, and I will actually trace the paper. And then you can take either a knife tool or that same pointed tool, since the clay is so soft, and you're just going to carve out that shape. All of the leftovers are going to be things for your crust and for your toppings. As soon as you're finished, I went ahead and picked it up one more time so it doesn't suction to the table, and then I'm going to smooth those edges. Any little clay crumbles at the end when they dry can be hard and actually scratch and hurt you. Step number 4, add clay details. So I'm going to push my clay pizza slice off to the side, and I'm going to start by rolling some clay. This is going to be the crust for the clay, so I'm going to roll it to make sure it's larger than what I need, and then just kind of cut off the edge. Sticking it to your clay does not keep it attached. What you need to do is you're going to press the edge of the clay in. I like to use popsicle sticks for this. Any other tool that has like a curved edge will work as well. And then when you're finished, if you can, use your pencil to smooth it out. Not your pencil, I'm so sorry. Your finger to smooth it out, you can. I couldn't get my finger in there, so I used the clay tools instead to smooth it out, so I didn't have the little mark lines from where that attachment came to. When you're finished with that, it's time to add some toppings. I'm going to go ahead and spend a little bit of time making some pepperoni toppings, where I'm going to roll a ball and smush it down and attach it in the very same way. Now that I have finished with my pepperoni slices, you can see that I took my curved tool and I attached it just the same way I did with the crust, pushing down that edge and then smoothing it out with my fingers to make sure that the texture or the smoothness was exactly what I wanted for my clay pizza. Step number 5, add texture details. Texture is the way an object feels, so the bumpiness or smoothness of an object. For my texture details for my pepperoni, I'm putting tiny, tiny little dots in it, like you might expect to see some dots in yours. You can, of course, do the same type of dots on your clay cheese, or you could even scrape it with a fork to make some. I decided after looking at those that I just wanted my clay to look smooth, like the cheese had just melted really nice and smoothly together. Step number 6, carve your initials. Pick up your clay piece and on the back side gently press in, not all the way through, and write the first letter of your first name and the first letter of your last name. Write your grade level and that letter next to it. So this grade was 3 minus A. I hope you've enjoyed making a clay pizza with us today. What will you create?